Welcome. You are now in Ray's Juke Joint. This is the PIckoff Show with Ray and Eric. This is a baseball show. This is a fantasy baseball show. This is just us talking the sport we both love, how we met, how we started the channel, how we started the podcast, how we started all this stuff. It's all because of the game of baseball. Eric, how you doing today?
Good, buddy. Good. Monday's about over, so that's good news.
Yeah, Monday's about over, and we got some what we got going on, Eric? We got a lot of things going on. We're in the final quarter of the season. I think that some teams are starting to separate themselves from the pack, but then there are also some what's the word I'm looking for? There's some I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to use here. The close races. That's what I was looking for. Close races.
Yeah.
NL West, for example.
Yeah. Well, there's 4 weeks left, I think, in ours. I'm sure people are coming up against their trade deadline if they haven't already passed it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people probably thinking about next year if it's dynasty or what they did wrong this year if they're just in an annual deal, or whatever. But yeah, I think there's 4 weeks left in ours.
Yeah, it's 4 weeks left in ours, and I'm even just in the league, like I said, the NL West is interesting to me. The NL Central is a little interesting, especially with the Cardinals bringing up Jordan Walker again today.
Yeah,
get them a little bit of pop.
They've been struggling, so trying to pull every plug they can, right?
Yeah, so I mean, and then you, not for nothing, the Northsiders are right there.
Yeah, and I don't even know necessarily if it's just they're playing better or if people around them are playing worse. Like,
right.
But yeah, no, like,
it's a mess, right? And then
it is a mess.
Your guys in Seattle, they're still defying the odds. How are they winning up with the Mariners? You know what I'm saying?
They absolutely just
have the best pitching staff in the league.
Yeah, and they just butchered the Mets. But the Mets were on a roll. I think the Mets scored 1 run all weekend. I mean, 22-1 or something in a 3-game series.
It was insane. Speaking of which, since we just got back, this is our first time back this week. This was my favorite shit from the weekend.
Ground ball up the middle. Polanco smothers, flips it out of the glove. Rios a bare hand. Wow. In time, the double play of the year.
I mean, what?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So crazy. And then poor JD Martinez. It feels like my last year of softball. You should not be getting doubled up on that play. You got to be able to get down the line fast. Two dudes fell, guy jumped over, bare hand, really threw it over to first. You got to get down there, buddy. But what a play.
I mean, JD is what? He's 77 years old still.
Yeah, the wheels, whatever there, and he's not there to beat out the deals. But man, you can't let him make that highlight on you. You got to get there.
But no, that was just a good opener. Just a good opener.
That's a great
shout out to everybody in the chat. Justin, Caleb, I see you guys. He's saying Mariners hots are getting back. You going against 9 this week is going to be something we're going to talk about at the end of the show.
Yeah.
This is going to be good. It's going to be a good show. But let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about. First thing, let's just get this out the way. We need to say goodbye to somebody. Let's just go here. The White Sox announced this was on August 8th. They have dismissed Pedro Grifol as the club's manager. Eric, let's talk about this manager, Pedro's Grifol.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do when you're on pace for possibly the worst team in the history of baseball and you were tying losing streaks? You got a first-year GM, somebody's got to bite it, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to eat the deal. And
it had to be him, right?
Had to be him. I mean, what else are you going to do? I know we're going to get into it, but the manager role is so confused and so overrated in baseball. But you're not going to see anything different now than what you saw with him. You're still going to run out the same players, same deal. But
hashtag Grifol, use that.
Yeah, no, somebody had to go. It had to be him. I hate all the change. If I'm just going to be honest with you, like, what are we on now? Like, coach 4 or 5, hitting coach 4 or 5, like
4 managers in 5 years.
Yeah, and how many hitting coaches now? I think we've had one different one like every year. Like, for example, I think we had one year every different since Vaughn's been up, for example. Like, since 2020. Like, I think we've had like a different hitting coach like every single year. Like,
yeah.
It's just not how stuff's built. It's not how longevity is built. It's not how stuff's built. Like, but they're obviously also looking for their right guy. And what are you going to do? You have to make a statement.
Yeah.
You're 60 games under 500. I think at one point, I think there was 57 or 58 games left. They could have won every game the remainder of the year and still been under 500. Like, something's got to change, right? Like, you can't just run it out there. You got to show something you care. You got to fire somebody. So, Pedro,
we'll see you later. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Good night. Eric, you're going to get a laugh. Do you see this comment right here? You're going to get a laugh out of it. You ready?
Honestly, right. That is true. I mean, considered Eloy and Makata were supposed to be a big part of this team.
Yeah. So I mean, we're gonna see where it goes from here. But in the meantime, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Here we go.
Looking ahead to the bottom of.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, and can I just say that I miss Hawk? I miss Hawk so much.
I miss Hawk too. I miss Hawk. But that was, if you didn't know what that was us playing against the Cleveland Guardians, and one of our Chicago people heckled the shit out of him.
Yeah.
So anyway, Grady is announced as the interim manager after the firing of Pedro Grifol. This was reported by Mr. Jeff Passan. The team said it plans to name a permanent replacement after the regular season ends. Sizemore was a 3-time All-Star. Oh, let me get this out of here real quick. Get that out of here. With Cleveland over a 10-year career, he was a thorn in our ass. I hated that.
He was a great player. He had injury stuff too. Yeah,
like I literally did not like Grady Sizemore, but it's only because I respected his game so much, So let's talk about what are we expecting from Grady Sizemore as the interim manager.
I think you're just going to see more energy. I already hate his lineups, but that's nothing new. I saw we got Lopez and Sosa tonight. 1-2. Like, what are you doing? Why? How come?
I don't know. Why is Lenine even in the lineup?
Why is he even on the roster? If somebody can answer me that one, I would love to hear that one. He's in his last deal of his contract. He has to make the 26 next year. He's out of options. He's already proven he's not an everyday MLB player.
Maybe this is his last shot. I'm thinking that's what it is.
I get it if you were hoping maybe that somebody would want to take a shot on him or you can get rid of him, but he's a huge DFA candidate. Because I can't see him wanting to pick him up and then promising him a spot on the 26th man next year. I can't imagine if he's on the 26th man next year, this is going to be real rebuild 7.0 if he's still on the 26th man next year.
I don't think he has a spot on the 26th next year.
That's what I'm saying. So why is he? I don't get completely why he's here now. I guess I don't. They went and signed Vargas. They got Vargas in a trade. They want him to play third, which I think is smart. I did like Sizemore. There's a difference, and you and I talk about this all the time.
Mm-hmm. I know where you're going with this.
When you bring a guy up, and you're going to have some guy is new to the team, or some guy is just freshly getting caught up. There are spots you want to put him in the lineup. There are things you want to do with him and things you don't want to do. What you don't want to do, in my opinion, is what Pedro said was hey, Vargas, welcome to the team. You're batting leadoff and you're going to play every position.
Right.
What do you mean? He don't know, exactly. There's little idiosyncrasies for every team. You're just going to throw all that on him? He's supposed to be the savior, come in and bat leadoff. So I did like that. Sizemore was listen, he's going to play third. He likes to play third. That's his natural position. He looks good at third. I like that he was batting him fifth or sixth, taking some of that pressure off of him. Just let him play. Just let him be. So that part of it, I think I like. I did like the energy I saw out of
In the dugout.
Sizemore in
Sure.
that first Cubs game where we came back down 7-0, and he was yelling at Vaughn like your old third base coach used to yell at you when it was time to get going, and on that last at bat, like I like some of that stuff. The problem the White Sox are going to have is no different than they have in free agency. Who wants the job?
I mean, right. Who wants this job?
If you are a viable skipper, why are you choosing the Chicago White Sox?
You know what they're trying to sell him? You will have the best rotation in baseball in 2 years.
That's what they have to sell.
They have to sell that. And there's no other thing to sell.
That's why I wondered if it – and he's like, well, we want somebody with manager experience, somebody like, yeah, good luck. I don't know how you're going to – you're running a shitty startup business, and you're trying to get a 4-star.
He was talking about. I was just showing that.
Yeah, the Vargas thing. Yeah.
It's just done.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you got to let a guy come in. Like he hasn't even played that many major league games. Like
right. So you're putting this pressure on him. Then you see him slumping in the fucking in the bullpen in the corner. Like oh my god,
hating life. Like I went from the penthouse in Los Angeles,
and then
the streets to the last place 20-win White Sox, and
now they're having interviews in LA talking about how Vargas looks, and they're like, oh, we're so sorry for him.
Yeah,
it's just like I mean, baseball players are just people, and people
they are just people. Not only that, let me say this, and this is why this probably ain't gonna be very popular, but what's new? Baseball players are baseball players. That's why they don't make great GMs, and a lot of them don't make great managers. How many of your stars do you see be managers? You don't see very many baseball stars be managers.
Not stars. You see
it's
a lot
usually like your backup catcher or a catcher that was in the game for years, or maybe it was even a so-so pitcher, or like
a guy that maybe spent his whole career in the minors. Like
or a grinder that was like off in and off the 40 man. Like you don't see star players excel in executive roles, and you don't see them excel at managers because you know what they are. They're baseball players. They're not baseball minds. They're not baseball people. No, they play baseball. That's what they do. So when you say they're just people, they're just people. That's exactly what they are. Yeah. They want to get up every morning. And they want to throw the bag over their shoulder. They want to make sure they have sunflower seeds, and they want to get to the park. They want to stretch and start screwing around with their friends and go hit baseballs. That's it.
Yeah. Shout out to Robert. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. He said good work, Ray. Appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, that's one thing about Grady Sizemore. He's a grinder. He was an all-star, but at the same time, he wasn't no superstar. You know. No. And I don't know if he'll interview for the job next year or whatever. But like you said, what I saw in the dugout, I was refreshed in seeing that somebody leaving the fucking bottom step of the dugout and coming to the top and standing there was like, thank you. Yeah. You know, do something. Yell at somebody. You know.
Stop writing down shit on your piece of paper. If you can't remember it, fucking make somebody else.
I mean, Ron Washington went to the mound fucking 4 times in a game. Yes, he's 70-something years old.
Yeah.
He's walking to the mound to go chew people out.
Yeah.
And he knows his team.
And his team's terrible. And they can't win, and he knows they can't win.
Yeah, but what he's doing is still trying to manage. Yeah. You know? But we're finna get into another thing where does it make a whole lot of difference? I think in Ron Washington's case, because of his reputation and what he's done in the game, he has a lot of he can get to a player. You know, he can talk to a player.
I think
go ahead.
Any of your vets are going to listen for sure. I'm sure some of the stuff is lost on the new guys at this stage, but like I know where we're going. Like, because I asked for it, like a little bit. Like, do the managers matter?
Do the managers?
What do they think they matter at? Go ahead. And I think people are always trying to judge managers on how they use their bullpen, or they should have pulled the starter, or they should have went to that. And like, they're just not viewed that way. That's not how managers are viewed from the front office. That's not how they're viewed from business people. Like, your manager's job and what, in your example, Washington's trying to do is, can you build a place where your 26 guys, it's actually probably 27, 28, counting they carry the taxi squad guys, but where they love to come to work every day. They want to put in the work. They believe in what they're doing. They believe that you have their back. They believe in the team. They like the style of play. They like the communication they're getting. They feel safe. They feel protected. They feel wanted. They want to play ball on a deal. Because you're talking about, if you think about the baseball season, you're in spring training from February, and your season don't end until basically October. Like, you spend as much time with your baseball family as you probably do your own family. So that's a huge part of it. The other part of it, and the White Sox are up against this, we've been saying this since day one. Can you build a place that you can sell a free agent that this is the place to be? Look at who we got managing. Is a free agent going to say, I want to play for that guy? I would play for that guy. I would play for this organization. I see what they're doing. I believe in the vision. I believe in the place. They don't give a shit that you went and got a lefty on lefty out of the bullpen and you got a righty on the lefty. Nobody cares. Like, that shit's for the fans. That shit's for people that are at the games. Like, that's fine. But that's not the part of the job that matters. That stuff's already scripted out before you're going through. The part that matters is, can you build something that people want to be a part of?
Right. Like a guy, can you build a team that has what Justin said? Can they be healthy and can they be cohesive?
Yeah.
And we just haven't had that since 2018.
Well, I don't even know when we probably had it last, where I would say
19.
They're having fun. Look at them go. Like, this is a different thing. This is a different deal. Like, I don't know. But it's also hard to build when you keep flipping everybody.
And we're constantly in that cycle.
Yeah.
But we have talked about like how it's kind of curving into the right direction now.
I love even the end of the Williams-Hahn era. They made some adjustments. I feel like I like what Getz has done so far. I like the vision. I like the types of players. He's got a style of players. We talked about it. We talked about the trade. I know we're going to talk about it. A couple of guys now. I can see the vision. The question is, can the manager be seen as a guy that can sell the vision, and can you sell it to, other possible free agents to help build this thing?
Yeah, and I like this comment by Justin about Ron Washington. He's a hands-on manager. He's working with guys on an intimate level, and he's been working directly with Zach Neto, and you see the changes in Zach Neto's game, and he trusts him 100%. Remember we talked about Ron Washington the last time.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, he's great for that stuff. And there's a reason why he was an instructor for so long. And to be honest, he probably should still be an instructor, not a manager, if I'm being honest. But that part, you're right, though. That part of the game, he's going to get the kid's attention.
Yeah.
He can still turn an average shortstop into a plus shortstop. He can still turn an average third baseman into a plus shortstop. He's going to know the deals. But, everybody's going to slump. Everybody's going to go through the things. Everybody's going to do stuff. If you're looking at a team, you have to build somebody that you want to be able to go on an 0-8 stretch with. You know it's okay. Everything's fine. Just it's what happens.
Yeah, it happens. It's baseball. But can you trust that guy to manage it?
Can he wear it? Can he wear it for you publicly when you know you screwed up? Can he put you back in a spot to let you excel again? Is he giving you all the tools that you need? Can you count on him?
Can he construct a roster every day that gives you the best position to win?
Listen, I got it's different, but it's not different. I got 100+ employees beyond this wall in my office working for me. They all don't work directly for me, but I am the CEO. They all think they work for me. It's my job to build an atmosphere for these 100 people that they want to be here. They want to keep their jobs. They want to produce, and they want to do the things. And I want them to tell their friends to come work here. That's what that manager's got to do. And it's the most underrated part that nobody ever talks about. They're always worried about how they use the bullpen and what they're doing for this and that and stuff. Like batting lineups, construction lineups, all that stuff. That stuff should be made at the executive level, not the managerial level. That should be a thing. Kevin Cash didn't write the Tampa playbook. He got handed the Tampa playbook.
And he runs it to death.
And he runs it. And that's his job, is to run it. And that stuff needs to be made at the organizational level, not the manager level.
Okay, so let's talk about a guy that I'm interested in this opinion because the name just got brought up. But Brandon Hyde in the Orioles, was he given the playbook or was he a part of the plan?
You got to remember, like, he was a part of the plan, right? He was around there for a while.
Yeah.
And, like, he knew some of the kids. And to be honest, he hasn't really done anything yet. Cool. You had a couple good regular seasons. You have 7 All-Stars. Let me know when you can do something past that. Because, like, that's – everybody should be able to make the playoffs. Like, he hasn't done a damn thing as far as I'm concerned. Like, you're looking for somebody that has continued success year in, year out. How do they do it?
So
why do they do it?
In a perfect world, let's just say 2 years from now, and we still have to work on our project to get us into contention here too. But in a perfect world, 2 years from now, what's a name? What's a name that you could see saying, you know what, I'll come to Chicago and I'll get them where they want to be outside of the organization, because a lot of people are thinking we're going back to Ozzie.
That's never happened. It was never happening last time. It was never happening time before that. It's not happening time before that. It's not happening 4 years from now. It's not happening 7 years from now. It never should have happened, and it never was the right move. Like, sorry, that's life. And I was surprised he moved on so fast from making the statement, we're looking to go outside. So if it's me, you know who I'm robbing? The 2 organizations that I'm absolutely in love with currently.
Atlanta.
Yeah, of course.
And
Milwaukee.
Okay. That was unexpected. I thought it was
Look at the Brewers.
Yeah, I thought you was going somewhere else with that.
Yeah, I'm talking a little bit more about, like, look what the Brewers did.
I love the
supposedly Brewers. Craig Hansel was supposed to be like the end-all, right? Like, he was the reason why the Brewers were successful.
Don't get us started on Craig Counsell.
So, like, that front office said, you know what? Milwaukee. You know what that CEO, you know what that GM did? He's like, you think Craig Counsell's the reason why we're winning? You take him. I'll grab somebody else and we'll still win a division. He ain't the reason why we're winning. But I'll tell you another one that I think really has her shit together. And I think they have the number 1 farm system in all of baseball. And this is going to pay me to say it because it's going to make somebody very happy on the podcast. But the Boston Red Sox are absolutely, I'm like enamored. Like, look at my roster. I have 2 or 3 other players in the minor leagues, like, on my fantasy deal. And, like, the fact that they held on to Cora, they rode him through even the down times and the hard times.
Yep.
Like, they just gave him the extension to let him ride. They just moved. You and I just talked about moving the 3 guys.
No, we're going to talk about it in a second. Don't go too far. I got them up here. They're coming.
Yeah. So, like, okay, yeah. So, like, I won't go too far. But, yeah, I mean,
let's just get to it. Let's just get to it now. Shoot.
The fact they moved all those 3 guys to AAA at the same time, the core they have coming behind them.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is what we're talking about. The Red Sox know layering.
Yeah.
And let's just get to it. Like, this is what happened, right? You got 3 guys. Marcelo Mayer, Roman Anthony, and Kyle Till have all been promoted at the same time to AAA Worcester, right?
Yep.
And then let me just give you some numbers. Before we go any further. That way you can what the hell? Oh, wrong account. I'm tweaking. Wrong account. All right. So Roman Anthony, 376 plate appearances, 269, 367, 489, 20 doubles, 15 home runs, 16 stolen bases, 12.8 walk rate, 25.5 K in AA. Marcelo Mayer, 335, 307, 370, 480, 28 doubles, 8 home runs, 13 stolen bases, a 9% walk rate, 19.7 K rate. And Kyle Till, 382. He has a 302 plate appearances, 299, 390, 462, 20 doubles, 11 home runs, 9 stolen bases, 12.6 walk rate, and 22.8 K. Very similar stuff going on. Eric, let's talk about it because there's some good stuff in there, some stuff that you love. But the one thing I want to do is we've been talking for weeks about layering. Yeah. Now you're looking at an organization. You just brought up the Boston Red Sox. They get it. They brought these guys in.
Well,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off, buddy.
Well, no, I'm just saying, these guys They went to Double A together. They produced.
Yep.
I just read you the numbers in Double A.
Yep.
Now they're going to move up to the next level.
Yep.
Together, and then they're probably going to graduate to the big leagues together.
And I'll tell you this: I actually like the three behind him more than I like the three that are those three right there.
And that's the other thing, that there's a guy that I was looking for, but he's already on somebody's team.
Yeah, Christian Campbell, and
he's already took it.
Yeah, he's on my team, and so is the international prospect, that guy Arias. Like, listen, it's important. And it's important in baseball, and I know the White Sox fans have never understood it. Remember how much heat we got when I said we're never signing a one-year player deal? Like, you remember everybody's like, what do you mean? They should just go sign a one-year. Listen, didn't make sense. Yeah. Next year makes all the sense in the world, but whole different subject. Like, if you want to have opinions on how front office could run and stuff can run, if you don't understand this part right here, you can't have an opinion. Like, this is the most important part. This is their job, is to – like you said, those three guys are coming up. Like, people were saying the Red Sox were going to go crazy at the deadline. They ain't going crazy at the deadline. You know why? They have to move one of these three guys. Or they got to move one of the three guys that are coming right behind them. They ain't giving up all that for one shot at the deal and then falling apart.
Nope.
They made their stand. Devers was their dude. He got the money. He's there, and they're just putting pieces around him.
Yep.
They're building it beautifully. It's a great thing to see.
Duran, Rafaela, Hamilton. Hamilton is probably going to be the next one gone that people are not going to be ready for, but he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, like, they're doing it the right way. They've got structure. They've got deals. They're competitive now with more youth coming. They're going to have some flexibility in the payroll. Like, the guy's doing a fantastic job. Brewers, the way the Brewers play and the type of ball the Brewers play, if I'm Getz right now, I'm telling them I want to build what the Brewers build. Like, I want to play like the Brewers play.
Yep, and they can't even bring up their number one pitching prospect because there's no spot for him because Tobias Myers is pitching his ass off. Because
that pitching lab is underrated right now. If you're out there in fantasy and you ain't grabbing Brewers prospects, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong because they're just grabbing dudes. Hey, another way how you run a team. How many teams say, I'm ready to compete right now, but you can have my manager? Craig Counsell, go ahead.
No, Milwaukee did.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Corbin Burns, you might be an ace, you know what? But I'm not going to let your value go to zero. I'm going to get some high-level talent for you because I understand layering. I understand value of players. I'm going to trade you to another contender, get me some deals, and I'm still going to win the division, and I'm still going to give my team a chance this year while I'm continuing to build.
I understand. I was looking at my phone because I saw a message pop up, and then I was shocked to see who got dropped just a minute ago in the Scumbags.
Yeah, well, speaking of layering.
Yeah. We're going. I was talking to Justin earlier today about because Justin, he turned the corner. That's why he came and messaged you talking about I got to apologize.
Yeah,
he understood.
He's stubborn, but he's finally starting to see it.
He's starting to see it, right? So he's saying Larry, right? So thing is, Caleb had too much of a funnel. He had too many big time players in one little spot. Too many people that wasn't going to come up together.
And he knew he drafted an all-star roster. Like, he knew he killed the draft.
Yeah.
And we had time between a draft and a deal. So why are you turning around and drafting guys that are going to be MLB ready right now?
Right, exactly. Right.
You should have purposely did what I did. The oldest guy I drafted was Matt Shaw, who was a year and a half away. Everything else was young A's, because I knew that I had roster problems now. You see me trade now. 3 and 4 guys for 1 or 2, just trying to free up spots sometimes. Like,
I tried to understand, but my thing was I was the 12th pick, so some of the higher prospects I couldn't do it. So I said, you know what? Let me get the 2 best guys I think will help me this year, and then pick younger after that. And I was able to do it.
You flipped one of them. Like, that can be a strategy too. Like, as a manager, you have to understand what your strengths are. And, like, you have to build your team that way. Yeah. Like, I believe in 2 things that I think that I do better than most in the fantasy space. Like, I believe that I understand what talent from young from young people will translate to old, to as they go through the organizations, who's actually going to be able to move the needle versus players that people are excited about because they have a big slash line, but they don't get what's going into it, i.e. Lenin Sosa, i.e. Oscar Colas, i.e. Tim Elko, i.e. every White Sox player that everybody thinks is going to matter, and they're not going to matter. But the other thing is, you do it even more so than I do now. We're scouting the guys that weren't even on people's rosters like every week. And we're trying to guide guys that we can see maybe made improvements and stuff. So, like, I want some roster flexibility for that. Like, when you're building your team, you have to have these spots. Like, what am I going to do? I like to spend one spot a week on my minors. I like to spend one spot a week on a guy that I think has turned his career around, Jonathan India, Alex Ferguson, Jared Jones, these types of guys. And I like to spend 1 week or one move or maybe two moves on my matchup throughout the week that I think might help me. Like, that's kind of my plan of how I'm moving stuff. I got guys that are coming up to AAA that moved up too fast for me. I trade them. Michael Bush, traded. Tyler Black, traded. Like, you have to manage your stuff.
I don't think guys understand it, but we're going to keep talking about it. Maybe one day it'll click. But
let's slowly, but it'll click.
So let's get into a little bit of something. Let's go to a little bit of prospect talk. Before I do anything else, I want you to see this. And this is your guy.
Breaking ball hammered to left field. Brendan McNair back to the track at the wall, and this one's out of here. George Woko homers for the second time in this doubleheader, and Woko makes it a 5-3 ball game.
That's your guy.
Right? 18 years old.
Yeah, that was his 10th of the year.
Just lifting it the other way.
And it's simple.
Simple.
Like, legit simple power. It reminds me of a guy that's on my team, James Wood. It's just like for no reason. It's going, that was his 10th of the year. Shout out to Future Sox. Just like they said, easy power, right? That was his 10th of the year.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when you're talking about prospects, why aren't people talking about Woko?
Yeah.
Because
they will. They're just slow.
They will, but I mean, if you know what to look for, the things that we look at, that he's all. I'm talking about him. I'm talking about Gonzalez. Yeah. I'm talking about I can't think of his name now.
Zavala,
Zavala. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Like, they don't get it. Think about how much we were shunned when we told everybody Noah Schultz was the number one prospect in the White Sox organization.
Yeah, man.
Guess who right now has the most trade value sites for the White Sox organization? Guess who has more trade value than Crochet? More trade value than Montgomery? More trade value than Lewis Robert?
Yep.
Like, you have to understand what translates and what doesn't translate. If you don't have – I don't even want to beat a dead horse, but I'm going to challenge you. If anybody's listening to this and you still are somehow a Colson Montgomery believer, I want you to go to Future Sox page. By the way, I love the videos. Those guys do a fantastic job. Go to Future Sox page, pull up every Colson Montgomery hit, and let me know when you can show one is hit to the not straight dead pull. And I mean dead pull side. Show me one of those shots that went to walkout and send it to me, because you won't find one. If you notice every shot, you're talking about this much of the field. Like, he's literally wearing out the first baseman to maybe the second baseman. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, that, and we've talked about how that translates to the big leagues.
Yeah.
Because big league pitchers will be like, oh, that's all he got. He won't ever see something to get that.
Yeah.
He won't ever see something to get that. And then you got his chase rate along with his
rate and like, listen, he's just not in his fielding. Like, like I don't want to spend time, but there's a difference. You're right. You and I were talking about that pitch that James Woods. It was inside him. He inside outed an inside pitch and like into the center field, left center field.
Yeah. Bleachers. You're in left center field bleachers on an inside pitch to you. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it.
He like
stupid.
It's incredible. The power is incredible. But you're right. Wokow, we haven't even seen it yet. We haven't even seen the power yet. Yeah. Wait till he turns on one of these in a minute. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when he gets that opposite field homer reminds me so much of the old school guys. Like, remember, like, Tomei towards the end of his career?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he just dumped over that left field wall, just like that pitch you saw there.
Mm-hmm.
David Ortiz, You remember him just dumping him over the monster, or just like basically just reaching out with that easy power and just being able to put him the other way, like that.
Manny the same way to right
to the other side, right? Yeah. Like that's going to translate throughout deals.
Yeah,
you know, like if you're looking for your next wave of White Sox position players, I have bad news. It is not Montgomery. It is not Elko. It is not. I'm not completely giving up on Ramos yet, but he's probably the only one I would hold on to. It's not Colas. It's not that group. It's this group. It's Wolkow. It's Zavala. It's Cuero. It's Cuero. It's like it's going to be this other guy we're going to talk about here in a minute. It's the 2 new guys we got from the Dodgers. It's some of the guys we just drafted in the draft. And the one thing I do love about what Getz is doing, right or wrong, but I believe firmly in, like, if you're running a business, you're running a deal, you're running a fantasy team, you have to have a plan. How much strategizing did you and I do in Yahoo? Like we had a plan.
You
ain't randomly drafting fucking dumbass players. You can't draft a chase guy with a huge K rate and then follow him up with another huge guy with a huge K rate. Like you have to have. It's your job to build your roster. Your roster should be able to compete in every single category throughout the deal. That's your job.
And
if you didn't build it that way, that's your fault.
Yeah,
don't tell me I don't care about that category. I don't care. No, you cared. You just fucking drafted like shit. Because nobody should be giving away categories.
Yeah, you're sitting up here, you're trying to tell me that you drafted well, but you have a total out of 19 guys, right?
Yeah.
You have a total of 3 guys that stuff multiple categories.
Yeah.
That's not a good team.
It's not a good team.
It's not a good team. You got 3 guys that can stuff multiple categories. The rest are just one-hit wonders, or they get Ks, they got a low whip, whatever. You're not doing anything to advance your team as far as like when you play guys who have, multifaceted. He said that Asinine's mad at you. He said, I have never and never will care about stolen bags.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's his strategy. But
that's the reason why you're 7th and trying to run down fucking Mac. You probably should have cared. Picked up 4 more wins and stolen bases along the year, you'd be in 6th.
Oh, yep. But no, that's what I'm saying. But like, it's like when we were setting up for,
and that's bullshit too. No, hold on, that's bullshit, Nine, because you're fucking smart enough. You're telling me you're not smart enough to drive a guy that can hit home runs and stolen bases? Like, is that what you're saying? You're not talented enough to do that? Like, you're talented enough. You just blew it. You just got to adjust. You got to adjust.
And then look. So like we're talking like guys that have a translated thing, right? So let's talk about one of the guys that we had in this draft. Well, not in the draft. I'm sorry. In the trade.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting talked about enough.
Yeah, let's talk about him now. Since we're like we have a niche. We have a niche on the PIckoff show. You and I, Eric. We usually just start talking about guys way before their time.
Yeah,
we talked about Seve Zavala way before people start talking about him.
Yeah, and somebody's gonna look
Future Sox and our guys over there. You know what I'm saying? Daniel Victor and all those guys. They do a great job. They watch all of them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, what I love here is look at that. Look at the at-bats, right?
I'm looking at
192. Look at the Ks. 17. Look at 261 after he moves up. Only still 34 Ks.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's 25 stolen bags.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see what's going on here. You understand the type of players we're looking at. It was no different than the 2 guys we got from the Dodgers. I don't think this kid's getting enough love from the guys acquired because everybody's worried about the Dodgers and what they got for Fetty, and they should have tipped something over. But like, I think this kid, this is stuff that translates. If he's not Kane at this level, and he's got the speed to what's this going to be? 35, 40 bags stolen season. I know he's already stolen, I think 6 down it since he's been over with us. I saw a couple in one game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm intrigued by this kid, and we got him for Banks. You know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of moves I want to see.
Yeah, I mean, so, William Bergoya, we're going to see how he turns out. But this is a guy that we're looking – the numbers that we look at, right? And it's another one. Let's just give another nugget, Eric.
Yeah,
Let's just give a little bit of nugget, right? Let's talk about separation of batting. When we're looking at people love slash lines, but don't understand them.
They don't get them.
They love slash lines, but they don't understand them, right? So you got a guy that's hitting let's just say 272. His on base percentage needs to be what, Eric?
If he's in the minor leagues, you want it 400. You want it 382.
Exactly.
If you don't have a 100-point differential there, you ain't gonna make it in the major leagues. I.e. Baldwin. I.e. Sorry, Justin, Jacob Wilson. I.e. some of these guys that are chase guys with good bat to ball skills that don't work at the major league level. Very few people will be able to pull that off. Tim Anderson pulled it off for a while, but the second that hitch came off, goodbye, right? It doesn't translate over decades.
Right, and then after the on base percentage, you want another 100% going into slugging.
100%. You want 100-point gaps in those. If you don't see 100-point gaps in those, at least in the minor league level,
they got work to do.
It don't translate. They ain't making my radar. I'll just pass. I don't care. I don't care if you're hitting 450, 500, and 550. Like that. No thanks. You ain't. That slash line don't play.
Jacob Wilson would be a star, according to Justin.
Yeah.
Need to see more from Baldwin. Agreed. But I agree with the need to see more from Baldwin. Eric, here we go. So since we're on prospects, there's a couple things I want to kind of get to, right? We already talked about the Boston Big Three, right?
Yeah.
And those guys are moving up together. There's two guys in the National League right now that I absolutely love. All right. So I'm gonna talk about one, and then I'm gonna talk about the other one in lieu of the other one, right? So this is my guy, right?
Yep.
I love Mason Wynn.
Yeah.
I love him, right? And so he said he's swinging for the fences now. He told it. And so if you look, people don't understand, and you put me on to all the metrics and stuff like that, and I start paying more attention to this when I start picking players or whatever. But his hard hit rate went from 29 to 41%. It's a big jump.
Huge.
Yeah. Air exit velo, 88.6 to 92.4.
Huge.
90th exit velo. Excuse me. 102.8 to 105.2. And then, but this is the big one, the bat speed. 70.7 to 74.4. Right? Yep. Fast sweep percentage, 9.3 to 30.8. And he's just been and we picked him up on the Yahoo, and we're just like, he's a plus player. He stays on the bases, and the power is just a cherry on top.
And he's leading off. He's going to score you a bunch of runs.
Yeah.
He's going to get you a few stolen bags. Like, he stuffs a lot of the categories. And this was kudos to you here, because you were early enough that he was still available in the Yahoo League. Usually, that Yahoo League is pretty sharp, even though I think the rebuild, some people aren't paying attention. But, we got him. You got him in that one, and we got him over there in this one. But, this is the kind of stuff you should be looking for. Every year, you can probably grab, I'll say league-wide, there's probably 30 players, probably a player a team that wasn't drafted, kind of underneath the radars, that has made similar type adjustments here, that had a foundation that was good enough, but was missing a couple things that can make a jump like this. Like, this is what you're looking at.
He was there for his glove.
Yeah.
And
he made good contact. He wasn't going to K a lot, or whatever, right?
Yep.
You knew that.
Yep.
So he had that fundamental stuff down, but then he added the pop, and he added the power, and he added the stuff. Like, now he's a legit fantasy threat. There's no doubt about it.
Right. So we're into our fantasy baseball portion of the show. But here's the one I really want to kind of get to. I just wanted to bring up Mason a little bit. Eric, we got the Jackson 3. The Jackson 3. And there's a lot of talk about the Jackson 3.
Sure.
You have one, I have one, and Mac has one, right?
Yeah.
In our little circle of friends. I think other guys have other ones, right? So let's talk about your guy first, okay? Let's talk about your guy. Jackson Churio, 52 games since June 1st, 35 runs, 9 home runs, 34 RBIs, 9 stolen bases, a 330 average, a 909 OPS, and he's just 20 years old. Why do you love Jackson Churio, and you think he's the best Jackson out of the 3 Jacksons?
Yeah, so a couple reasons. One, this is some stuff we're never going to be able to have a full detail on, right? Mm-hmm. Type of player he is, type of human he is. We only have stats.
Mm-hmm.
When an organization like Milwaukee, who is what, a mid-tier. They're not a high deal, right?
Right, they're not. They're mid-major.
Mid-major, maybe even lower mid, right?
Okay.
Probably not even true mid. When they grab a kid that has never played a AAA game and they said, "Here, kid, here's money." Like, here's money. We don't spend a lot. They traditionally don't spend a lot. Their payroll is going to always be in the bottom half, bottom third. And they're willing to make that investment in the kid. That should be your first signing of, like, something special's here. Something's going on. That kid's never even hit in AAA. But he can literally do it all. I mean, you're talking this is a 20. What's that?
He's clutch.
Clutch, and you're talking about a 20-year-old that I don't know where he currently stands with the stats, but he's going to have 25 potential as a 20, as a 19-year-old or, as a 21-year-old next year. Like, he's never seen even AAA pitching before.
He's got 14 home runs on the year right now.
How many stolen bases he got?
Give me 1 second. I'm pulling it up right now. Hold on. I just saw that when I first pulled it up. He's at 16.
He's 14 and 16 as a guy that's never seen AAA, and it's August 12th. So what's that pencil out to be? An 18 and 24 stolen base season?
Yep. He's got 15 doubles. He's got 50 RBIs. And they just recently, he's been batting ninth for the majority of the time he's been up. Yeah,
of course. What are you going to do with a guy that's never seen AAA? He was a slow starter. If you take away those first 6 weeks or so, oh, boy.
Yeah, so 269, 315, 342. 320. Oh, man. 269, 315, 429, 744.
Yeah. That's after just an atrocious start.
Yeah. Right. So the last AAA player to skip AAA is Juan Soto, according to Asinine.
Yeah, I don't think he did play much. I think they brought him up, and
they brought him from AA.
I think they brought him from AA to end the year, then they just brought him right back on the big league club, if I can remember correctly.
Yep. So then there's my guy.
But you're talking here. I got him on Savant now, right?
Go ahead.
50% K rate for a young kid. Bat speed 74. XBA is 85. Hard hit percentage 74. Base running value 96. Hard hit percentage is, like I said, 74. Bat speed 74. Average X velocity 50. X slug is 56. You're talking about 20-year-old has never seen AAA first time through. This number is going nowhere but further right. And he's going to be able to throw on 30 stolen bags.
Right. I can pull him up like that. I forgot I can just.
That's all right. I'm just saying, that's when you're looking for stuff, Chase is a little bad in the 20s.
Yeah.
With 35 is not the best. Walks 24. But, this is what you're looking for in a profile. This is what you're looking for. Fantasy profile, this is what you should be looking for. You're talking about a 25, 75 RBI run guy? Yes, please.
Yes, please. Agreed. Here's the Jackson that I love. Jackson Merrill.
Yeah.
309, 338, 635. In his last 196 plate appearances, 14 home runs, 40 RBIs, 33 runs, 4 stolen bases, a 168 WRC plus. That's, I don't know. He's one of those guys where I'm just like, where did he get this talent from? You know what I mean?
He, not only that, talk about clutch. Talk about not being afraid.
Clutch.
He's been hitting 8th inning, 9th inning, home runs. He's basically doing what they're hoping Tatis would do because he's hurt.
Yeah. So let's see. Let me go here. All right. Let me go here. Present. All right. So there's Jackson Churio right there on Savant.
Yep.
So you're saying, okay, I see what you're saying. So this is all because the chase, the whiff, the K, and the walk is that terrible start for him.
Yeah,
but,
the K isn't terrible being right at mid.
Yeah.
I would take that for a rookie first time through, being 20 years old.
Yeah.
You would like to see him walk a little bit more, but like if you do that, if you pull him up by the months, that's going to look a lot different.
How about this guy? Let's see.
Yeah, I'm going to guess you're going to have a little bit higher chase and a little less walk. Yep. But you could see that. Dude, I hope people are understanding. When you showed that clip, the last one, and it said 338, what was the it was like a 30-point gap, right?
Yeah. It was hold on, I got it right here. Hold on. I didn't even Jackson Merrill was, where is it? Hold on. Oh, it's 309, 338, 635 in his last 196.
So the second I see that, you can tell he chases and don't walks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're trying to teach people. It's 29-point difference between his batting average and his OPP.
Mm-hmm.
Then what you can do, just until you learn, you can go to this page and you can verify. Look at his chase. Look at his walk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But as a young guy, there might be some room for improvement there, and you don't need much because look at the rest of this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is 100% what you're looking for.
Right. Absolutely. And then
this is the full season. I mean, he's almost got 500 at bats, I bet.
He's got 406.
Yeah, 436 plate appearances.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 436 plate appearances. So then there's the one that we've been giving everybody shit about, right? The other Jackson.
Yeah, listen, like there's just a difference between baseball players and fantasy baseball players, and you shouldn't rely on MLB Pipeline to do your research for you.
Right. Because let's just say he had a bad stint his first time up.
Yeah.
He had and we saw it coming. A lot of people didn't want to hear what you were saying.
Yeah.
He went down, he worked on some stuff. And I give the kid props. He didn't sulk, he didn't mope and moan about it. He went down there and worked. Came back up. He's had some success since coming back.
Scroll down just a little bit more.
On there. And we're gonna come back to Merrill now. And I got you. I got you, Caleb. Give me 1 second. Scroll down a little bit to what you want to go to.
No,
pitches
that's all right. No, that's all right. That's all right. I want to see the fielding. I want to see the stuff. But like,
oh yeah, there's fielding. Oh, fielding is. Oh no, that's wild. I thought you wanted to see like the pitch types that he's been struggling with.
Yeah, fastball is late, beating him up. Can't recognize tune the changeup, but none of that stuff's new from the deal. Like you don't want to see it a long time, but that was always my problem with Moncada. They knocked the bat out of his hands. They start knocking the bat out of your hands, you're in trouble. But he's made good adjustments. I'm not saying Jackson Holiday will not be a good player. There's just a difference.
Yeah.
Like, give me your floor / line that you can see Jackson Holiday putting up.
I see Jackson Holiday doing 260, 320, maybe 520.
Yeah, and if he can slug 520, I would be shocked. But yes, so say that's your floor, and then you look at the stolen bases. He's not much of a base threat.
Maybe 420.
To me, he's got 15 to 25, probably 15 to 20 home run power. He's maybe going to steal sub 10 bags. Like, that's not a fantasy threat. At no point am I like, oh, man, I can't wait to grab this 15 home run guy, 8 stolen base guy that might hit 280. Like, let alone trade away my entire draft and then draft him first when there's 7 people that I would have taken in front of him at least. We've already named 2 of them.
Yeah. And Churio and Merrill are right there.
Yeah.
Yep. So was James Wood.
Skeens.
So was Skeens.
Mayo.
Yep.
Junior Cameo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of people that
Caminero was sitting there.
Wyatt Langford. Like, there's a lot of players that should have went before Holiday, let alone trading up to get 15 and 10. Like, it's never going to make sense. I know they're never going to give up on it, but it's never going to make sense.
So then, yeah, I wanted to talk about the Jackson 3. I thought that they were,
it's a great conversation.
It's a great conversation with them 3. And, you know, it's always a conversation with who's the best Jackson right now. You know, people are naming their kids Jackson, so on and so forth. It's just crazy, right? And so it's just, you know, we just try to keep it in the perspective, especially when we're talking fantasy, where what does the next guy look like, right? We're basically building our minor leagues to be able to go into the draft and not need too much. And there are other people who have a lot of needs who are not making the moves they need to make, especially well, I don't even know about the Yahoo League. Pissed me off so much. I don't even.
We should probably don't talk about it. It's been a throwaway since they're going to resculpt it or whatever.
Right, but we set ourselves up because of how we took over that team.
Yeah,
we took over the last place team. We built it as an OBP machine and heavy starting pitching to get to where we are now, where we have flipped those starting pitchers for some draft picks, and we kept filling the roles of the OBP monsters, you know, and we're right there, right? We kind of stopped because it's like no point.
Yeah,
right?
and we were like up a fourth against like the most insane roster of all times, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but we were competing. We've been in the top 6 the whole time.
Yeah, and we took over the worst team, and like you said, like now that the trades are gone, and we had 4 first-round draft picks going into next year, like an extra third, we had our team set up. Good.
Yeah, so it kind of pissed me off, but I'm just saying.
It pissed me off too,
but then we go back to the SBC where like I know what I was doing. I was setting myself up to where I'm okay with giving up my first-round pick next year. I don't need it.
I don't even want it. I got another one. I just got another one, and I'm going to try to trade it to Dan probably tonight. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't need it. Like I've layered my team to my liking.
There's nobody in the international or nobody that just got drafted that I'm like,
yeah,
oh man, I really think he's going to change the game compared to the guys that I have on my bench now. Like,
right. You know, and then it's just, you know, it's just like when we're doing fantasy baseball and we're talking about difference makers, right?
Yeah.
So who am I excited about the moment I see they get called up? That's the guy I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think there are guys that can sit in the minors forever because they're not going to really make a difference, but they're on people's rosters right now.
Or if they do make it, what are they really going to do? What's their top side and what's their upside? Like, what's the value in the deal? It's like, it doesn't matter. Like, people are drafting Peter Crow Armstrong. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what were you hoping?
Yeah, Peter Crow Armstrong is funny. I've never called him that, but I would never not call him that from here on out.
Yeah, like what were you doing drafting that guy? Like, it's no different than Montgomery. Like, goddamn Justice got Montgomery on his roster. What stat line could you see out of Montgomery in the pros that makes you think that he should be on your minor league roster?
I'm sorry. That's Peter Crow Armstrong.
I'm not calling him PCA. That's for the Cubs people. Like, I'm not calling him Peter Crow Armstrong. That's his name.
Hey, Peter Crow Armstrong is hilarious. I don't even know why it's so funny.
Yeah, but like you want to have guys that can move the needles. And is it hard to do what I did? Of course it is. When I see Ian getting lifts from like Churio, I see you getting a lift from like James Wood.
Yeah,
you know, whatever. I see what Paul Skeens has been. You know what I mean? When you see these guys, is it fun for me to know that I don't really have a guy even like in Double-A on my minor league roster? It's pretty painful right now, but it's going to be real fun in 2 years, though.
Hey, speaking of Colson Montgomery, he's batting 209, 331, 380.
Yeah. 380.
418 plate appearances in AAA.
How many strikeouts?
He has, 119.
How many plate appearances?
418.
Yeah, 28.5% strikeout rate. That only goes to about 33 or 34 and actually about 35 in the major leagues.
Yeah.
And
13 home runs, only 15 doubles. That's not good.
I'm telling you, go back If you're bored at home, go look up every highlight. Every highlight is literally pulled down the line. That's it.
Yeah.
He's lost right now. To be honest with you, people are saying call him up. To be honest with you, they should send him to Double A. They should try to build his confidence back up. He has no business being up here. He'll look worse than Kolos, dude.
That's tough. That's tough. To look worse than Kolos is tough.
Yeah, I mean they'll absolutely just embarrass him up here.
That's tough. That is tough. Real quick, I wanted to show somebody on your team that I absolutely love, and this is just because I had him last year, and I hate the fact that you are reaping the benefits of having him on your team. All right, 1 second. Let me get the Savant ready. Just so you can kind of gloat a little bit.
It's one of my favorite things to do.
Here you go. Gloat away, sir.
Yeah. Sit.
Gloat away, sir.
Slow. Yeah. I mean, I made a trade with him. Actually, this trade, we should do an episode where we break down the trades, but only like the decent ones. This trade helped both teams.
I don't remember what you got for Naylor.
I traded Caleb Valdez from the Astros,
Mm-hmm.
and I got Naylor.
Mm-hmm.
But Valdez has been real good for Caleb too. This was a win-win trade. But I mean, we drafted him in our Yahoo League too. We knew at being 27 years old and being a spot that he's in, like, look at the K percentage. Look at the baseball. Look at the walk percentage. Look at the X slug. Look at the exit velocity. Look at the hard hit. Like, this is how you project players. But
Yeah,
Caleb at the time was absolutely loaded at first base. Like, I don't know if he just used to play first base or something, but he drafted like 17 of them, I think. He had Olsen, Vladdy, him, and somebody else. He had like 4 first basemen, I think, at one time.
Yeah, the walking K rate is insane with Josh Naylor.
For a guy batting cleanup, it's supposed to be, a run producer, and he's that patient, and he's willing to still walk.
Yeah, and he'll steal a base every now and again, which is stupid.
Yeah, it's just dumb. Like 5. I feel like I stole something every time he does, but
yeah. But that. I just wanted to show a pro that we both love and what we look at when we're looking.
Like, you're looking, what is that there? Look at his average and look at his OBP. So that's roughly 71.
Yeah.
81.
81 points. That's what
81 points, and you got 160 on the slug. Like, This is how you reach slash lines. This is what you're looking for. This guy is going to be a success. These maps project. They don't all of a sudden hit and miss. Like, something else. I know we don't have a ton of time, but
we got time. Go ahead.
Like, understanding when to sell high on guys and when to buy low on guys is another unique talent. Like, being able to move guys that you don't think, like Jackson Profar, for example, right?
Yeah, Jackson Profar. Justin should have traded him a while ago, you think?
Yeah, like 6 weeks ago. Like,
yeah.
Justin knew he wasn't going anywhere. You guy's a 10-year vet. You think he finally figured out in his 11th year, or you think it's a lucky run? Like, there's a reason he signed a 1 year, $2 million, $500,000, $3 million deal. Like, he was the last fish out of the bowl. Like, great story. Glad you're hot for a minute. You should have capitalized on every single one of those values. It's because right now he is stuffing the box. He's stealing some bags. He's got some extra base hits, hitting for decent average. But you really think that's going to happen 2 or 3 years down the road? Is it 12 years?
No, Aston and I have been telling him that he's going to come back down to reality.
Yeah. I mean, you don't take a 10-year track record and all of a sudden, like, a 6-month span, and all of a sudden you're Superman. It just don't happen.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
Yeah. Oh, it might have been Ian saying it. I don't know. What somebody in our group has been saying whatever.
Yeah, you gotta learn when you hit on something, you have to be willing to
let it go. And
let it go and then reel it back up. Like, I know you didn't want to get rid of Tovar, but like what I told you was you're good enough to go get the next Mason Wynn. To go find the next guy. Go ahead and upgrade to bomb here.
Yep.
And then go out and find your next Ovar, find your next Mason Win and build under.
Yep.
Like, that's what you have to be able to do.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it, but I did it. But it helped. It helped Dan because now he has a cornerstone.
Listen, Dan's doing stuff the right way. If you're trying to rebuild, you're not doing what Dan and actually what Keon did. Like, that's what you should be doing. You should be tearing down, a star or two and putting 4, 5, 6 layers underneath and getting some draft picks. Like, that should be your plan. But, like, what's funny to me is, like,
I didn't realize that until
they loved him. They gave away everybody else, Gore and Woods, but I remember that. He's right.
Okay.
He's right. But yeah, you have to be willing to move. You have to be willing to do stuff. But what's funny to me is, like, and I'm just gonna say it, like, who did we tell him would be first, second, and third? Like, after the draft. We told me, you and Caleb.
Yeah.
Told him.
Yeah.
I didn't listen. Guess what's happened? That's what happened.
Yep.
Like,
you, Caleb, me.
You can see what's going to happen. If you learn to do this, you can tell what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen in the future.
It's gonna play out to where people will start. A couple people already know they got to make adjustments. Even Justin's stubborn ass realized I got to make adjustments.
Yeah, man, he butchered that team. He butchered the league. Nobody trades like 8 superstars in the same fucking offseason. Like, but he got what he deserved. He's got the worst team in the league. He got what he deserved.
And now he's like, oh shit.
And now he's screwed because he's got no assets. He's got like 2 dudes.
Now he wants to figure it out. So I'm looking for nephew to come back and say what he said.
He's got like 2 assets he can move. I think
he's going to.
Lewis. I think it's about the only 2 guys that have any trade value.
Yeah, he said he's gonna he's gonna be in contention really soon.
Yeah, it must be in his other league, or he's hoping that 4 or 5 of us drop out. I don't know what his plan for there is, but
no, this is Dynasty SBC style, buddy.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
Is Colson Montgomery still on his minor league roster?
Yeah.
I'm never taking anything that he says seriously, so that guy's off.
All right. So last thing we got to talk about, Eric. Last few Fridays, we've been doing stuff, right? We've been trying to get into this national.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah. So they do
we're
a thing.
Play this next year.
This was our roster last week, and we just missed on a couple. We had conversations. So this is the National Fantasy Baseball Championship. This is the big one, right? You win this a week. You win this one weekly contest, then you can get into
the national
for free. You get the invitation to go play in the national. It's hard as shit though. I mean, like we had a decent chance this week. We went with this one, and we had a conversation about a couple guys who actually would have helped us, but we're going to eventually figure this thing out.
Yeah, and this is where we're going next year. So I'm excited for this, and I'm nervous. I mean, obviously, I'm ready to go play the big game, but we've never done. You and I haven't played in the free agent bidding thing, and that's a big part of this.
Yeah,
where like they open up the window and you get one time a week to bid, and also you set your lineups for like the week. You don't set them for like the day. So like you and I are going to have some adjustments to do, but I'm excited for that. It's kind of become our little Friday night ritual that you and I are putting together a squad to try to qualify to win the big deal in. So
I want to get in it. But like we discussed, we have to come together like Friday morning. And
we got to start thinking about it. Yeah, like because you wanted Berger in, I wanted Vaughn in.
Yeah,
we ended up putting neither in, and they both hit home runs. Like it was like, God damn it, like
right. So it was just like it's just what we gotta figure it out. But the thing is, we're gonna do 2 rosters a week.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to end up happening. That's what's going to end up happening.
We got to do 2 rosters a week. That way, we get a double chance to get in. But
not only that, we're taking out one of the competition because then there's instead of 1 in 50, we have a 2 in 50.
Yeah.
No, but it's fun. Like I'm excited for this journey. I'm excited to try to step out of our comfort zone of our friends in the Scumbag Classic and try to get on the national stage and see how we do. A little nerve-wracking because it's different rules, but I'm excited for it.
And then it's like we go into this thing blind because we don't know what counts as what. And then you're like, how is that points or whatever?
Yeah.
It's just it's a little different because they don't show the categories. They just show your value.
Right. That's why I figured it's good to play this stuff now, though, before we blow a main event entry in like the big one.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, that's another thing I'm looking forward to, and all that good stuff. One last thing, I was talking with Justin, and you and I were talking, right?
Yeah.
You need 2 to 3 guys, and if you are in a dynasty league, and this is just Ray's way of thinking about it. If you're in a dynasty league, right, and you have minor leagues, right, you need 2 to 3 guys in different age brackets at different positions, especially like pitching, infield, outfield, infield, outfield, pitching, right? So you need guys that are 18 to 19, 20 to 19 to 20, 20 to 21, right? And that's just how I did it. And then they're in A ball, AA, AAA. And then they go, that's just how I layer it. That was the way I broke it down in my mind, and that's what do you think about that thought process?
No, I agree with you. You got to realize, and it's going to be hard at times because there's always going to be a new best thing, right? Like now we just had another draft. So next year for 2025, everybody's going to be like, ready to kill some of the guys that were drafted top 5 last year, and they're going to want the new inspired shiny toy this year. There's going to be a whole new international draft. I agree with you, but it also determines your major league roster and where you're at makes sense. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I knew I was coming for the championship this year.
Right.
Like, I knew that was my goal, was to try to repeat. And I knew drafting it coming out, I would have one of the stronger teams. Like, so I knew minor leagues options were nothing for me but people to trade to possibly get me major league talent if I wanted it. Like, I knew that was my plan for my minor league system. So, like, what is your plan and how are you going to develop it and where you're going to go, and like knowing that type of stuff. Like, part of the reason why I drafted a Cub in the first round was I knew we had a Cub fan in our division I could probably trade him to, and I did.
Right.
Like you have to think about that type of stuff. But I agree with you. You want some different layers, but you have to draft all upside in the minor leagues.
Right. That's what I was saying.
I don't give a shit if a guy's like, if he can't run, if he can't steal bases, I don't care. I don't want nothing to do with him. If you can't hit some 4 to power, if I don't think you can get to 15 or 21 power, I want nothing to do with you. I don't care if I think you're going to hit 330 and steal 50 bases. If you have no power, I have zero interest in you. Like, you want guys like James Woods. You want guys that are going to move needles, Cheerio, on 2 or 3 or 4 different levels. Like and you got to realize most of them are going to fall, or whatever. But you want to draft guys, to me, that can stat stuff that we talk about. You want something that can move the needle in every category. Yeah,
and I like you said, you knew you was going for the championship. I just wanted to be competitive.
Yeah.
But I knew that I was going to be ultra competitive because I knew how I was going into the draft. And then I made some moves, i.e. getting Corbin Carroll to go with Kyle Tucker.
You took advantage of a guy that loves the Dodgers. Like, there's one thing I'll give Caleb credit for. I hated Caleb's trades this offseason, but him and I have talked about it privately, so it's no deal. If you go back and look at the team Caleb drafted, he's supposed to have Corbin. He's supposed to have Ellie. Like, you know what I mean? He's supposed to have Josh Naylor. Like, if you look at the team that he drafted, like, he was super solid in the draft. I hated the trades he made, but I'll tell you one thing he's good at was going to rob Nick and going to rob Duke. Like, he absolutely just stole players off of their rosters. Like, there you go. Like, that's something I probably didn't do a good enough job of, was out there trying to, like, pilfer. But you pilfered. You gave him Yamamoto for Corbin Carroll. I mean, you used the pick that Mac – like, that's what people don't get. And that's the genius of the thing. And it's so next level. You drafted James Woods, who everybody would tell you they'd rather have over Jackson Holiday. Use the picks that he gave you to take Yamamoto to flip him to get Carroll.
Yep.
That's how you manage. That's what you do. That's how you move things. Like, that's brilliant. That's what makes you dangerous now.
Well, I appreciate that. But I want to win a championship in the next year or two. And then, I've been going the last month and a half, almost 2 months without King Tuck. I can't wait till he comes back, because it just makes my team that much. I've been winning, but it just makes my team that much more dangerous.
Like, I don't want to All right, I'll just go ahead and keep hammering the point in the head. Caleb's number 1 draft pick, Corbin Carroll. Eric's number 1 draft pick, Julio Rodriguez. Had a terrible year so far. Your number 1 draft pick, Tucker. Terrible, like hasn't played for the majority of the year.
Yeah.
Guess who's still first, second, and third?
That's true.
Yeah, you're beating without a first-round pick.
Yeah, I'm winning.
Yeah, we wouldn't have helped Slow-Mo, and he's in 4th.
Yeah.
Like, step up. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Get better.
Exactly. Got to get better.
Gotta get better.
It's
Gotta
fun.
get better.
It's fun. But like next week, let's see what we got going on next week. We're gonna come back and we're gonna, keep talking about this. It's stupid. Shut up, Justin. Let's just keep this thing going as far as finishing up the year fantasy wise. Let's keep trying to get into the NFBC.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be fun. We're gonna pop one of these.
Yeah, we got to. We absolutely have to. $70,000. Pick 9 players. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, one super. I ain't gonna get. Somebody might be listening. Be trying to do it. And I'll tell you our strategy. Not doing it.
Yeah.
But we got a strategy now, and I think it's gonna work.
But it's a tough end. But it's been fun on Friday nights. It's been fun.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's been fun. It's been fun. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for everybody for watching us on YouTube. If you are there, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Thank you for watching on Twitter. We still trying to get our Twitter page.
Elon, pay attention.
Yeah, like come on, man. Give us our check mark and stop playing with us. We've been paying this for fucking a month now.
I signed up for it and paid.
Yeah, like god damn. But anyway, thank you guys. We appreciate it. We about to cut the lights off in here. Make sure y'all check out the Fair Catch crew coming back next week, talking all things Bears. We got the basketball show coming back soon, which is the refs call, and I got another one in the hopper. Just got to get it off the ground. Once it's off the ground, I think it's going to go crazy.
All right, but I love it.
Get it off the ground. So just keep watching Race Juke, join all the shows and everything, and thank you guys. Appreciate it.